Angel Wing, PTP Year Number 2, Week Number 13, April 1st, 25. Angel Wing's Personal Transformation Program, Energy Management, Decision-Making, and Self-Mastery, Year 2, Week 13. Date, April 1st, 25. Author, Sachin Karnik, The Angel Wing, LLC. Slide-by-slide commentary. Slide 1, Page 1 Title Slide. This slide introduces Angel Wing's online personal transformation program, specifically Year 2, Week 13, dated April 1st, 2025. It highlights the program's goal, a systematic approach from a balanced state towards personal excellence. The program is developed by the Angel Wing, LLC, and presented by Sachin Karnik. Slide 2, Page 2 Disclaimer Number 1. This slide presents the first disclaimer for the program. It emphasizes that the program's content is for informational and educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical, psychiatric, or psychological advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Participants are advised to consult qualified health providers for any health concerns. It clarifies that the program creators and facilitators are not licensed medical professionals. Participants take sole responsibility for their well-being and rely on the information at their own risk. The disclaimer releases the creators/facilitators from liability for any damages resulting from participation. Agreement to these terms is acknowledged by participating. Slide 3, Page 3 Disclaimer Number 2. This slide presents a second disclaimer, specifically for Angel Wing, LLC's Quantum Transformation Program, QTP. It states the program aims to help individuals with past personal or professional challenges reintegrate into professional and community settings. It notes that participants may come from diverse backgrounds, including those with past professional issues or legal challenges, emphasizing the belief in second chances. Angel Wing, LLC is not liable for the actions of QTP participants. Participation isn't an endorsement of past actions, but signifies belief in positive change. The program is educational and supportive, not a replacement for formal counseling or licensure. Participants are ultimately responsible for their conduct. The program uses monitoring and feedback. It encourages contacting program coordinators with questions and directs participants to contact Sachin Karnik directly for information about his background, noting his admission to the QTP after a thorough review. Slide 4, Page 4 Grounding Meditation Exercise. This slide features an image, Image 1, and the title, Grounding Meditation Exercise, suggesting the start of a practical exercise component of the session. Slide 5, Page 5 Materials Needed. This slide lists the materials participants need weekly, 1 blank card per week. It includes images of notebooks, pens, an envelope, and someone writing, images 2, 3, 4, 5. Slide 6, Page 6 Workshop begins. This slide signals the official start of the Year 2, Week 13 online workshop. Slide 7, Page 7 Core Energy Usage Introduction. This slide introduces the concept of core energy usage across 12 areas of life. It outlines 5 key aspects: energy activation and utilization, awareness, energy equalization, balancing polarities, energy conservation, storage, energy revitalization, renewal, and energy transmutation, refinement. Slide 7, Page 7 Core Energy Usage in all 12 areas of one's life. This slide serves as an introduction to the framework of managing personal energy within the context of the 12 life dimensions assessed later in the presentation, like career, health, relationships, etc. The goal is to achieve a state of complete balance across these dimensions by consciously managing one's core energy. The 5 key aspects represent different phases or modes of managing this energy. Energy activation and utilization. Concept. This refers to the initial mobilization and use of your personal energy reserves to initiate actions and make choices. It's about becoming aware of how much energy you are currently directing towards each of the 12 life areas. Explanation. The presentation highlights that energy activation fuels the initial push toward making decisions. However, it also warns that certain triggers, particularly emotional states like stress or urgency, can activate energy unnecessarily, leading to impulsive or poor decisions. The goal is to become self-aware enough to regulate this activation, consciously choosing where and how much energy to utilize, ensuring it aligns with your intentions and values, thereby sharpening decisional clarity. It also involves understanding how much energy each life area typically consumes. Energy equalization. Concept. This focuses on learning to balance opposing forces or polar aspects within yourself. Explanation. In the context of decision-making, equalization involves harmonizing the pole between emotional energy and rational energy, or between different inner voices like the ego, intuition, and impulse. It's about finding equilibrium between desire and discipline to reduce internal energy spikes and improve mental clarity. Achieving this inner balance helps prevent reactive decisions driven purely by emotion or impulse, leading to more considered choices. Practices like breath work or journaling are suggested to help achieve this state. Energy conservation. Concept. This emphasizes the importance of protecting and storing your personal energy rather than wasting it. This theme is central to weeks 1 to 13 of this program module. Explanation. The presentation links energy conservation heavily with decision-making. Poor decisions, internal conflict, dealing with temptation, regret, and decision fatigue all drain energy. Conversely, self-efficacy, belief in your ability, making wise choices, automating routine decisions, setting boundaries, proactively removing temptations, and pausing before reacting all help conserve energy. Conserving energy supports consistent, aligned decision-making and builds resilience. It's about minimizing energy leaks and protecting your internal reservoir. Homework assignments specifically ask how tolerance relates to conservation and how to utilize energy dynamically while ensuring conservation, and how energy is being conserved during the week. Energy revitalization. Concept. This involves the renewal and replenishment of your stored energy. Explanation. Revitalization occurs when you make choices aligned with your values and well-being. Wise decisions replenish energy by avoiding the drain of inner conflict and regret. Actively engaging in self-care, like proper sleep and nutrition, and saying no to energy-draining activities or commitments directly renews physical and mental vitality. Consistency in making good choices creates positive feedback loops that sustain energy levels. Energy transmutation. Concept. This refers to the refinement or purification of your stored energy, transforming it into a higher state. Explanation. Transmutation is presented as converting raw impulses or lower energy states, like temptation or struggle, into refined choices and wisdom. It involves using challenges or temptations not as roadblocks, but as feedback to better understand inner needs and refine decision-making processes. This refinement purifies your inner energy and aligns your actions more closely with your higher values and goals. Visualization can be used to help transmute low-energy decisions into high-frequency ones. In essence, this framework on Slide 7 introduces a dynamic model for managing personal energy across all life domains, moving from awareness, activation/utilization, through balancing, equalization, preserving, conservation, replenishing, revitalization, and ultimately refining, transmutation, that energy to achieve personal excellence and mastery. Slide 8, Page 8 Presentation Title Slide. This slide indicates the start of Sachin Karnik's presentation for October 2024, focusing on personal energy equalization and personal energy conservation. Slide 9, page 9 Goal Visualization. This slide displays a diagram, image 6, illustrating the goal, achieving a state of complete balance across 12 dimensions of life, centered around core energy. Slide 10, page 10 Focus Area, Energy Conservation. This slide highlights that the focus for weeks 1 to 13 is energy conservation. Slide 11, page 11 Introduction, Energy and Decision-Making, Kant. Continuing from week 12, this slide discusses the energetic cost and return of every decision. It introduces decisional balance theory, weighing pros and cons. It notes that temptation drains energy, while self-efficacy conserves it, and energy conservation supports consistent decision-making towards self-mastery. Slide 12, page 12 Understanding Decisional Balance Theory. This slide delves deeper into decisional balance theory, developed by Janus and Mann. It explains the balance between perceived pros/cons of change versus the status quo. High temptation lowers decision quality, while high self-efficacy strengthens it. Resolving internal conflict restores energy flow, and awareness is the first step to mastery. Slide 13, page 13 Energy Activation and Decisional Triggers. This slide explains that energy activation fuels choices. Emotional states can trigger impulsive decisions. Self-awareness helps regulate unnecessary activation. It encourages recognizing energetic triggers, like cravings or fatigue, for poor decisions and using intentional energy for clarity. Slide 13, page 13 Energy Activation and Decisional Triggers. This slide focuses on the initial phase of energy management in the context of making choices, how our energy gets mobilized or activated, and what often triggers this process, sometimes unwisely. Here's an expanded explanation of the points. Energy activation fuels choices. The fundamental idea is that making any choice or taking action requires an initial surge or mobilization of personal energy. Think of it as the ignition needed to start the decision-making engine. Emotional states trigger impulsive activation. The slide points out a common pitfall. Strong emotional states, such as feeling stressed, under pressure, urgency, angry, or overly excited, tend to trigger an immediate and often uncontrolled activation of energy. This surge frequently bypasses rational thought, leading directly to impulsive decisions that we might later regret. Slide 17 further elaborates on this, warning that emotional reactivity leads to regretful decisions and unnecessary energy activation. Self-awareness regulates activation. The crucial countermeasure is cultivating self-awareness. By becoming aware of your internal state, emotional, physical, mental, you can learn to recognize when energy is being activated unnecessarily or impulsively. This awareness allows you to pause and consciously regulate the activation process, preventing energy waste on reactions you don't truly want. This regulation is a key aspect of energy conservation. Recognizing energetic triggers. The slide encourages identifying specific personal triggers that tend to activate energy toward poor decisions. It gives examples like cravings, which links to temptation, discussed on slide 15 as an energy drain, or fatigue. When you are tired or experiencing a strong craving, your energy might be automatically activated towards seeking immediate relief or gratification, e.g., unhealthy food, procrastination, often bypassing better judgment. Recognizing these patterns is the first step to managing them. Intentional energy use for clarity. The ultimate goal is to move from reactive, triggered activation to intentional energy use. When you consciously decide how and where to activate and direct your energy, aligning it with your values and goals, you achieve greater decisional clarity. This means making choices from a place of considered thought rather than impulsive reaction, leading to better outcomes and conserving vital energy. In essence, slide 13 emphasizes that while energy activation is necessary for action, uncontrolled activation, often sparked by emotions or specific triggers like fatigue, leads to poor choices and wasted energy. Developing self-awareness allows you to regulate this activation and use your energy intentionally for clearer, more effective decision-making. Slide 14, page 14, self-efficacy as energy conservation. This slide positions self-efficacy, belief in one's ability, as a tool for energy conservation. It reduces internal conflict, channels energy toward goals, prevents waste on doubt, and builds energetic resilience, acting like an internal energy reservoir. Slide 14, page 14, self-efficacy as an energy conservation tool. This slide presents self-efficacy, defined simply as the belief in one's ability, not just as a positive psychological trait, but as a practical tool for managing and conserving personal energy. Here's a deeper look at how it works according to the presentation. Reduces internal conflict. When you have a strong belief in your ability to handle a situation or achieve a goal, you experience less internal conflict. As slide 12 mentions, internal conflict itself consumes significant energy. Therefore, by reducing this conflict, self-efficacy directly helps conserve energy that would otherwise be wasted on internal debates or struggles. Channels energy effectively. Self-efficacy acts like a focusing lens for your energy. Instead of scattering your energy in multiple directions or being unsure where to apply it, a belief in your capabilities helps you channel your energy directly and efficiently toward goals that are aligned with your intentions. Prevents energy waste on doubt and hesitation. A major source of energy drain is unproductive mental activity like doubt, hesitation, and second-guessing decisions. Self-efficacy minimizes these energy leaks. When you trust your ability to figure things out or make sound choices, you spend less time and energy caught in cycles of uncertainty. Builds energetic resilience. By consistently operating from a place of self-belief, you reduce chronic energy drains. This process helps build long-term energetic resilience, your capacity to face challenges, exert effort, and recover without becoming depleted. Creates an internal energy reservoir. The slide uses the powerful analogy that boosting self-efficacy is akin to building an internal energy reservoir. This implies that self-belief doesn't just prevent energy loss, it helps you accumulate and store energy, making it readily available when needed. In essence, slide 14 argues that cultivating a genuine belief in your own capabilities is a powerful strategy for energy conservation. It achieves this by minimizing energy-draining internal states, conflict, doubt, and maximizing the efficient use of energy towards desired outcomes, ultimately building a more resilient and resourceful energetic system. Slide 15, page 15, temptation as energy drain. This slide identifies temptation as an energy drain, pulling energy towards short-term rewards. Giving in erodes willpower, and the energetic cost of guilt is high. Avoiding temptation conserves energy, making mindful recognition of these energy leaks crucial. Okay, let's break down the concepts on slide 15, page 15, regarding temptation. Slide 15, page 15, temptation as energy drain. This slide focuses specifically on how temptation acts as a significant drain on your personal energy resources. Here's an expanded view of its points. Pulls energy towards short-term rewards. Temptation's primary mechanism is to divert your focus and energy toward immediate gratification or short-term gains. This pull often conflicts with longer-term goals or values, creating an internal tug-of-war that consumes energy. Even resisting temptation requires energy expenditure. Erodes willpower and confidence. When you repeatedly give in to temptation, it weakens your resolve or willpower over time. This erosion can also damage your self-confidence and self-efficacy, as discussed on slide 14, making it harder to resist future temptations and trust your own decisions, creating a potentially draining cycle. High energetic cost of guilt and self-repair. Yielding to temptation often leads to feelings of guilt, regret, or disappointment. Processing these emotions consumes energy. Furthermore, you might expend additional energy trying to fix the consequences of giving in, e.g., making up for procrastination, apologizing, dealing with negative health effects. This self-repair process has a high energetic cost, tying into the energy drain of regret mentioned on slide 22. Avoiding temptation conserves energy. The slide presents a straightforward solution. Actively avoiding situations or stimuli that trigger temptation is a direct way to conserve your personal energy. This aligns with the strategy on slide 18 to remove temptations proactively. By not having to engage in the internal battle or deal with the aftermath, you preserve your energy reserves. Mindful recognition is crucial. Becoming aware of what tempts you and how it affects your energy levels is vital. This mindful recognition, a form of self-awareness highlighted on slide 13, allows you to identify these specific energy leaks. Once identified, you can develop strategies to manage or avoid them more effectively. In short, slide 15 portrays temptation not just as a moral or disciplinary challenge, but fundamentally as an energetic one. It depletes energy by diverting focus, weakening resolve, and creating costly emotional and practical consequences. Therefore, managing temptation through avoidance and mindful awareness is presented as a key strategy for energy conservation. Slide 16, page 16, Energy Equalization, Inner Balance. This slide focuses on energy equalization for inner balance in decision-making. It involves harmonizing emotional versus rational energy and balancing inner voices, ego, intuition, impulse. Equilibrium between desire and discipline reduces energy spikes and improves clarity. Practices like breath work can help equalize energy. Slide 16, page 16, Energy Equalization, Inner Balance in Decision-Making. This slide elaborates on energy equalization, one of the 5 core energy management principles introduced on slide 7. It specifically focuses on how equalization fosters inner balance, which is crucial for effective decision-making. Here's an expanded explanation. Harmonizing emotional versus rational energy. Decision-making often involves input from both our emotions and our rational thought processes. Energy equalization aims to harmonize these potentially conflicting inputs. Instead of letting strong emotions override logic, as discussed on slide 17, or suppressing emotional wisdom in favor of pure logic, equalization seeks a balanced integration where both aspects inform the decision appropriately. Balancing inner voices. We often experience different internal voices or perspectives when considering a choice. The desires of the ego, the subtle nudges of intuition, or the urgent demands of impulse. Equalization involves recognizing these different voices and balancing their influence. It's about achieving an internal state where these aspects are in dialogue rather than conflict, allowing for a more holistic assessment of the situation. Equilibrium between desire and discipline. A key aspect of equalization is finding a stable equilibrium between desire, often representing short-term wants or impulses, and discipline, representing long-term goals, values, or rational constraints. Achieving this balance reduces internal energy spikes, those sudden, potentially overwhelming surges of emotion or impulse that can derail thoughtful decision-making. A state of equilibrium conserves energy by preventing these volatile fluctuations. Improved clarity. The direct result of successfully harmonizing these internal forces and achieving equilibrium is improved clarity. When the internal noise of conflicting energies and voices subsides, your ability to perceive the situation accurately and make a clear, aligned decision is significantly enhanced. Developing practices. Equalization isn't just a passive state, it's actively cultivated. The slide suggests engaging in practices like breath work, which can calm the nervous system and reduce emotional reactivity, or journaling, which can help clarify thoughts and feelings, to consciously facilitate this process of internal energy balancing. In summary, Slide 16 presents energy equalization as the active process of bringing competing internal energies, emotional/rational, ego/intuition/impulse, desire/discipline, into a state of harmony and equilibrium. This balanced internal state reduces volatile energy spikes, conserves energy, and ultimately leads to greater clarity and effectiveness in decision-making. Slide 17, page 17. Emotional decision-making and energy waste. This slide discusses how emotional reactivity leads to regrettable decisions and unnecessary energy activation. It advises delaying decisions during emotional highs/lows and training oneself to pause, which conserves energy. Emotional regulation enhances decision quality and energy flow. Okay, let's expand on the points made in Slide 17, page 17. Slide 17, page 17. Emotional decision-making and energy waste. This slide directly addresses the pitfalls of letting emotions dictate choices and how this negatively impacts personal energy management. Here's a deeper look. Emotional reactivity leads to regret. The slide states that reacting emotionally, rather than responding thoughtfully, often results in decisions that are later regretted. This happens because decisions made in the heat of the moment, whether driven by anger, fear, excessive excitement, or deep sadness, may not align with your core values, long-term goals, or a rational assessment of the situation. Emotional surges activate energy unnecessarily. Strong emotions trigger physiological responses and activate your personal energy. While energy activation is needed for action, as per Slide 13, activation driven purely by emotional surges is often excessive and undirected, essentially wasting energy without contributing to a productive or desired outcome. It's like revving a car engine without putting it in gear. Energy is consumed, but there's no useful movement. Wisdom in delaying decisions. Recognizing this link between emotional intensity and poor decision-making, the slide advises that delaying decisions during emotional highs or lows is a wise strategy. Waiting until you regain a more balanced emotional state, related to the energy equalization discussed on Slide 16, allows for clearer thinking and reduces the likelihood of making a reactive, regrettable choice. Training the pause conserves energy. Actively training yourself to insert a pause between an emotional trigger and your response is presented as a key practice for energy conservation. This pause breaks the cycle of automatic emotional reaction. It creates space to choose a response consciously, preventing the unnecessary energy expenditure associated with emotional outbursts or impulsive actions. Emotional regulation enhances quality and flow. The ultimate benefit highlighted is that developing emotional regulation skills, the ability to manage and influence your emotional state, leads to better decision quality and improves the overall flow of your personal energy. By reducing energy waste from emotional reactivity and regrettable choices, you free up energy for more purposeful use, leading to a smoother, more efficient energetic system. In summary, Slide 17 emphasizes that emotional decision-making is energetically costly and often leads to poor outcomes. By practicing emotional regulation, delaying decisions when necessary, and cultivating the habit of pausing before reacting, you can conserve energy, improve the quality of your choices, and achieve a more balanced energy flow. Slide 18, page 18. Energy conservation strategies. This slide lists practical strategies for energy conservation, pausing before decisions, automating routine choices, proactively removing temptations, building supportive environments, and using peak energy times, like mornings, for complex decisions. Slide 18, page 18. Energy conservation strategies. This slide shifts from explaining the concepts behind energy management to providing concrete, actionable strategies participants can implement to actively conserve their personal energy. These strategies directly address the energy drains discussed previously. Pause before decisions preserves energy. This builds on the idea of pausing before reacting emotionally, slide 17, and broadens it. Taking even a brief pause before making any significant decision allows you to move from automatic reaction to conscious response. This interruption prevents impulsive choices that might waste energy or lead to regret, thereby preserving your energy reserves for more considered action. Automate routine choices to save mental energy. This strategy directly combats decision fatigue, discussed on slide 20. Many small decisions throughout the day, e.g., what to eat, what to wear, which route to take, consume mental energy. By creating routines, habits, or pre-deciding these low-stakes choices, you eliminate the need for active deliberation each time, saving significant mental energy for more complex or important decisions. Remove temptations proactively. This is a practical application of understanding temptation as an energy drain. Slide 15. Instead of constantly expending willpower to resist temptations present in your environment, proactively remove or minimize exposure to them. If certain foods, websites, or situations reliably trigger energy-draining temptations, structuring your environment to avoid them conserves the energy you would otherwise spend in resistance or recovery. Build environments that support decision alignment. This strategy expands on removing temptations. It involves consciously designing your physical and social surroundings to make desired behaviors easier and undesired behaviors harder. This could mean setting up your workspace for focus, associating with supportive people, linking to environmental influence on slide 43, or organizing your home to facilitate healthy habits. A supportive environment reduces friction and the need for constant self-regulation, thus conserving energy. Use morning energy for complex decisions, honor circadian rhythms. This acknowledges that personal energy levels naturally fluctuate throughout the day, circadian rhythms. Most people have more mental energy and focus earlier in the day. This strategy advises tackling complex decisions or demanding tasks during these peak energy periods. Trying to force complex thought when your energy is low requires more effort, is less effective, and drains your reserves faster, contributing to decision fatigue. Slide 20. Aligning tasks with your natural energy rhythms optimizes performance and conserves energy. In essence, slide 18 provides a toolkit of practical techniques aimed at reducing unnecessary energy expenditure in daily life by managing decision processes, controlling environmental triggers, and aligning activities with natural energy cycles. Slide 19, page 19 Revitalization through better decisions. This slide explains how wise decisions replenish energy by avoiding inner conflict. Saying no to draining activities and making self-care decisions revitalizes physical and mental energy. Consistency in good choices creates sustainable energy loops. Okay, let's explore the concepts on slide 19, page 19, in more detail. Slide 19, page 19 Revitalization through better decision patterns. This slide focuses on energy revitalization, one of the 5 core energy management aspects introduced on slide 7. It explains that revitalization isn't just passive rest, but can be actively generated through the types of decisions you make. Here's an expanded view. Wise decisions replenish energy by avoiding inner conflict. When you make decisions that feel wise, meaning they align well with your values, goals, and intuition, you avoid the internal conflict that often accompanies choices made under pressure, out of obligation, or against your better judgment. Since inner conflict consumes energy, as noted on slide 12, avoiding it through wise choices effectively replenishes or preserves energy that would otherwise be lost. Saying no to draining activities revitalizes you. Actively choosing to decline requests, activities, or commitments that you know will deplete your energy is presented as a form of revitalization. Setting boundaries and protecting your energy reserves by saying no prevents depletion and frees up energy for activities that nourish you instead. Self-care decisions renew vitality, making deliberate choices that support your physical and mental well-being, such as choosing healthy foods, getting adequate sleep, exercising, or engaging in relaxing activities, directly contributes to energy renewal. These aren't just incidental activities. They're conscious decisions that actively replenish your vitality. Revitalization follows purposeful alignment. When your decisions consistently align with your deeper purpose or core values, it creates a sense of meaning and reduces internal friction. This state of alignment is inherently energizing and leads to revitalization. You're no longer fighting yourself or wasting energy on misaligned pursuits. Consistency creates sustainable energy loops. Making occasional good decisions helps, but the real power comes from consistency. When you consistently make choices that conserve or replenish your energy, wise choices, setting boundaries, self-care, you create positive feedback loops. Having more energy makes it easier to continue making good choices, leading to sustainable energy levels and increased vitality over time. In summary, slide 19 highlights that energy revitalization is an active process fueled by conscious, aligned decision-making. By choosing wisely, setting boundaries, prioritizing self-care, and acting in alignment with your purpose, you not only conserve energy, but actively replenish it, leading to sustained vitality through positive energy loops. Slide 20, page 20, decision fatigue and energy depletion. This slide addresses decision fatigue, noting that repeated decisions without recovery deplete energy and increase impulsivity. It suggests structuring the day to limit low-priority decisions and reducing options where possible to reclaim wasted energy. Slide 20, page 20, decision fatigue and energy depletion. This slide addresses the specific phenomenon of decision fatigue and explains how it directly contributes to the depletion of your personal energy. Here's an expanded breakdown. Repeated decisions deplete energy. Without recovery, the core idea is that the act of making decisions, especially numerous ones over time, consumes mental energy. Just like physical exertion tires muscles, cognitive exertion tires the brain. If you continually make decisions without adequate breaks or recovery periods, your energy reserves become depleted. Fatigue increases impulsive behaviors. When your decision-making capacity is fatigued, your ability to carefully deliberate, weigh options, and exert self-control diminishes. As a result, you become more susceptible to making impulsive choices. This might mean opting for the easiest option, succumbing to temptation, slide 15, or making choices driven by immediate emotions, slide 17, rather than careful consideration. Strategy: limit low-priority decisions. To counteract this drain, the slide suggests consciously structuring your day to reduce the sheer number of decisions you have to make, particularly low-priority ones. This ties into the strategy of automating routine choices mentioned on slide 18. By minimizing the mental energy spent on trivial matters, you conserve it for decisions that truly matter. Strategy: reduce options where possible. Another practical strategy is to limit the number of choices available when making a decision. Faced with too many options, the deliberation process itself becomes more energy-intensive. Simplifying choices by reducing the available options can significantly lessen the cognitive load and conserve energy. Goal: reclaim wasted energy. The ultimate aim of managing decision fatigue is to reclaim the personal energy that is often wasted on excessive or unimportant decision-making. By implementing strategies like limiting trivial choices and reducing options, you free up valuable mental and emotional energy for more productive and meaningful use. In summary, slide 20 explains that making many decisions depletes energy, leading to fatigue and increased impulsivity. By strategically reducing the number and complexity of decisions, especially low-priority ones, throughout the day, you can mitigate decision fatigue and conserve valuable personal energy. Slide 21, page 21 Energy Transmutation, Refining Decisions. This slide introduces energy transmutation, the process of converting raw impulses into refined choices. It suggests using temptation as feedback, transforming struggle into insight, energy becomes wisdom, and tracking growth through decision journaling. Decision refinement is equated to inner energy purification. This slide introduces the concept of energy transmutation, the last of the 5 core energy aspects mentioned on slide 7. Transmutation focuses on elevating or refining the quality of your energy and, consequently, your decisions. Here's a deeper dive. Converting raw impulses into refined choices. At its core, transmutation is about moving beyond basic, perhaps reactive or unconsidered impulses and transforming that initial energy into more conscious, refined, and aligned choices. It's about elevating the quality of your response rather than just managing the quantity of energy. Using temptation as feedback, while slide 15 discussed temptation primarily as an energy drain to be avoided, this slide introduces a more advanced perspective. Transmutation involves using the experience of temptation as valuable feedback. Instead of simply resisting, you analyze the temptation to understand the underlying need or desire it represents. This understanding allows you to address the need in a more refined, conscious way, rather than through impulsive action. Transforming struggle into insight. Energy becomes wisdom similarly. Transmutation involves reframing struggles. Instead of seeing difficulties solely as energy drains, you can work to transform the energy invested in the struggle into insight and wisdom. The experience, processed consciously, becomes a source of learning and growth, effectively converting struggle energy into wisdom energy. Decision refinement equals inner energy purification. The slide equates the process of consciously refining your decisions, moving from impulse to insight, using feedback constructively, with the purification of your inner energy. As your decision-making becomes more aligned, conscious, and wise, the quality of your personal energy itself is elevated or purified. Tracking growth through decision journaling. To aid this process, the slide recommends decision journaling. Regularly recording your decisions, the factors influencing them, the outcomes, and any insights gained allows you to consciously track your progress in refining your decision-making process and transmuting your energy. In essence, slide 21 presents energy transmutation as a sophisticated level of energy management focused on quality, not just quantity. It involves consciously converting lower-level energetic states, raw impulses, temptation, struggle, into higher-level outcomes, refined choices, insight, wisdom, through self-awareness and reflective practices like journaling, ultimately leading to a purification of inner energy. Slide 22, page 22 Energetics of Regret and Resolution. This slide discusses regret from poor decisions as an energy sink. Forgiveness, learning, and closure help release trapped energy and allow for forward movement. This slide delves into the specific energy dynamics associated with past poor decisions, focusing on the draining effect of regret and the energizing potential of resolution. Here's a more detailed look. Poor decisions result in regret, energy sink. The slide points out that a common consequence of poor decisions is lingering regret. This isn't just an uncomfortable emotion, it's described as an energy sink. This means regret actively and continuously drains your present energy reserves, much like a leak in a container. Forgiveness and learning release trapped energy. To counteract this drain, the slide suggests that practices like forgiveness of oneself and potentially others involved, and actively learning from the mistake help to release the energy that has become trapped or stuck in the regret. By processing the experience constructively, you stop feeding energy into the past event. Closure creates energy for forward movement. Achieving closure on past issues, accepting what happened, learning from it, and letting go is presented as essential for freeing up energy. When energy is no longer bound to past regrets, it becomes available for present concerns and future actions, enabling forward movement. Holding onto the past drains decision-making strength. Conversely, actively holding onto the past, whether through persistent regret, resentment, or endlessly replaying events in your mind, depletes the strength and energy needed for effective decision-making in the present. Your focus and resources are misdirected. Resolve, rehash, conserve energy for the now. The slide concludes with a practical principle: prioritize resolution over rehashing. Rehashing means mentally replaying past events, criticisms, or regrets, which continually drains energy. Resolution involves actively seeking closure, forgiveness, and learning. Choosing resolution conserves energy and directs it appropriately toward the present moment, the now. In essence, Slide 22 frames regret as an energetic liability stemming from past choices. It emphasizes that actively working towards resolution through forgiveness, learning, and closure is crucial not just for emotional well-being, but for releasing trapped energy, preserving present strength, and enabling forward progress. It advocates for a conscious shift from energy-draining rehashing to energy-conserving resolution. Slide 23, page 23. Energy mapping across life dimensions. This slide proposes mapping energy expenditure across the 12 life areas. It involves identifying decision patterns, analyzing temptation versus self-efficacy in each domain, aligning energy intention with priorities, and tracking energy inputs/outputs weekly. This slide introduces a practical exercise designed to bring greater awareness and intentionality to how personal energy is distributed across different areas of life. It connects the abstract concepts of energy management back to the concrete reality of the participants' daily experience, using the framework of the 12 life dimensions introduced on slides 9, 28, and 29. Here's a breakdown of the steps involved. Map where you spend energy in the 12 life areas. The first step involves a conscious self-assessment. Participants are asked to reflect on and identify where their personal energy, time, focus, emotional investment, physical effort, is actually going across the 12 dimensions, e.g., career, finances, health, relationships, etc. This creates a snapshot of the current energy landscape. Identify decision patterns within each domain, beyond just where energy is spent. This step requires analyzing how decisions are typically made within each specific life area. For example, are decisions related to finances made impulsively or thoughtfully? Are relationship decisions driven by emotion or careful consideration? Recognizing these patterns is key. Analyze temptation versus self-efficacy in each. For each life domain, the participant should analyze the interplay between temptation, slide 15, and self-efficacy, slide 14. In which areas are temptations strong, potentially draining energy? In which areas does a strong belief in one's ability, self-efficacy, help conserve energy and drive positive action? This adds depth to understanding the decision patterns. Align energy intention with life priorities. This step involves comparing the actual energy map, where energy is going, with one's stated life priorities, where energy should be going according to values and goals. The objective is to consciously redirect energy allocation, aligning your intention for energy use with what is truly important. Track energy inputs and outputs weekly. Energy mapping isn't a one-time event. The slide recommends making it an ongoing practice by tracking energy inputs, activities/choices that replenish energy, and outputs, activities/choices that drain energy, on a weekly basis. This continuous monitoring allows for ongoing adjustments and helps maintain alignment between energy use and priorities. In summary, Slide 23 outlines a comprehensive self-assessment process. By mapping energy expenditure, analyzing decision patterns, including temptation and self-efficacy dynamics within each life area, comparing this to priorities, and tracking energy flow over time, participants can gain crucial insights needed to consciously manage and direct their personal energy more effectively across all dimensions of life. Slide 24, page 24, Developing a Personal Energy Protocol. This slide outlines steps for creating a personal energy protocol, establishing rituals for revitalization, sleep, nutrition, stillness, developing protective boundaries, recognizing and correcting repeating decision patterns, building a values-rooted decision process, and using visualization to transmute low-energy decisions. This slide acts as a synthesis, bringing together many of the energy management concepts discussed earlier into a set of actionable steps for creating your own personalized system or protocol for proactively managing your energy. Here's a more detailed explanation of each step. Create rituals for energy revitalization. This involves intentionally establishing regular habits or rituals focused on replenishing your energy revitalization. Slide 19. The examples given, ensuring adequate sleep, proper nutrition, and incorporating moments of stillness, like meditation or quiet reflection, highlight the need for proactive, consistent practices that renew your physical and mental energy reserves. Develop boundaries that protect energetic flow. This step emphasizes the importance of setting and maintaining boundaries specifically to safeguard your energy. This means learning to say no to requests or activities that drain you. Slide 19. Limiting exposure to negativity, protecting your time, and generally preventing energy leaks caused by external demands or intrusions, related to avoiding drains from temptation or emotional reactivity. Slides 15, 17. Recognize decision patterns that repeat and course correct. Building on the energy mapping exercise, slide 23, this step requires ongoing self-awareness to identify recurring decision-making patterns, especially those that are ineffective or energy-draining. Once recognized, the protocol involves consciously working to course-correct these patterns, replacing them with more aligned and energy-efficient approaches. Build a decision-making process rooted in values. This involves consciously designing how you approach decisions, ensuring the process itself is grounded in your core personal values. When decisions align with values, it minimizes internal conflict. Slide 12 enhances the sense of purpose, contributing to revitalization. Slide 19 and leads to more authentic and energetically sustainable choices. Use visualization to transmute low-energy decisions into high-frequency ones. This step provides a practical technique for energy transmutation. Slide 21. It suggests using visualization, mentally rehearsing desired outcomes or responses, to help transform tendencies towards low-energy decisions, e.g., impulsive, fear-based, reactive, into higher-frequency choices, e.g., conscious, aligned, value-driven. In essence, slide 24 outlines how to build a personalized operating system for managing your energy. It involves establishing proactive revitalization habits, protecting your energy with boundaries, refining decision patterns through awareness and correction, grounding choices in values, and using mental tools like visualization to elevate the quality of your energy and decisions. Slide 25, page 25, Conclusion, Energy Mastery. This slide, featuring image 7, summarizes that every decision shapes the energy landscape. Mastering self-efficacy, being aware of temptation, and practicing balance, conservation, revitalization, and transmutation are key. Ultimately, self-mastery equals energy mastery, which equals life mastery. This slide serves as the capstone for the detailed discussion on personal energy management within decision-making. Accompanied by an image of wind turbines, image 7, potentially symbolizing sustainable and efficient energy, It summarizes the core message and ultimate goal. Every decision shapes your energy landscape. This statement powerfully reiterates the central theme woven throughout the preceding slides. It emphasizes that choices are not energetically neutral. Each decision you make actively influences and sculpts your internal energy state, either draining or replenishing your reserves. Mastery requires key skills and lifelong practice. The slide recaps crucial elements for achieving energy mastery. Mastering self-efficacy, developing a strong belief in your own ability, as discussed on slide 14, is fundamental as it transforms how energy is used and stored. Temptation awareness, being consciously aware of temptations and how they act as energy leaks, slide 15, is essential for sealing those drains. Lifelong practices, the core energy management principles, balance, equalization, conservation, revitalization, and transmutation, are presented not as quick fixes but as ongoing, lifelong practices that require continuous attention and refinement. Self-mastery equals energy mastery equals life mastery. This final equation presents the ultimate takeaway. It posits that achieving mastery over oneself is intrinsically linked to achieving mastery over one's personal energy. Furthermore, mastering personal energy is presented as the key or pathway to achieving overall life mastery, living a more effective, aligned, and fulfilling life. In essence, slide 25 brings the discussion to a powerful conclusion by highlighting the profound impact of decisions on energy, summarizing the key skills and ongoing practices required for effective energy management, and framing energy mastery as the essential foundation for achieving self-mastery and, ultimately, life mastery. It encourages participants to view the management of their personal energy as a central aspect of their journey toward personal excellence. Slide 26, page 26, quick movement break. This slide indicates a short break for standing stretches and movements, possibly led by Keenan-Well or using a Keenan solution method. Slide 27, page 27, open workbook number 2. This slide instructs participants to open workbook number 2, which contains the 12-dimension self-assessment. It includes an image of an open notebook, image 8. Slide 28, page 28, goal visualization, repeat. This slide repeats the diagram, image 9, showing the goal of complete balance in the 12 dimensions of life centered around core energy. Slide 29, page 29, 12 dimensions listed. This slide lists the 12 dimensions for the self-assessment: career, finances, physical health, mental health, family/relationships, social life, personal development, religious/spiritual life, recreation/leisure, environment, contribution to society, and life vision. It provides a brief focus for each dimension. Slide 30, page 30, self-assessment instructions. This slide provides instructions for the self-assessment. Rate the current state in each dimension on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being optimal. It emphasizes that the rating should be from one's own perspective and requires sincerity and truthfulness. Slide 31, page 31, homework assignments. This slide assigns 2 homework tasks related to the principle of tolerance. How tolerance relates to energy conservation. How tolerance relates to dynamically utilizing activated energy to ensure conservation and best use. Slide 32, page 32, vitamin M exercise reminder. This slide uses an image of an envelope, image 10, to remind participants about the vitamin M money envelope exercise. Slide 33, page 33, principle number 13, title slide. This slide introduces the next presentation segment by Sachin Karnik for February 2025, focusing on principle number 13, sincerity and consistent personal effort in the right direction. Slide 34, page 34, agenda for principle number 13. This slide outlines the agenda for the discussion on sincerity and consistent effort, understanding sincerity, defining consistent effort, challenges and strategies, real-life examples, cultivating sincerity, impact of environment, personal responsibility, assessing consistency, action plans, motivational strategies, and reflection/growth. Slide 35, page 35, Understanding Sincerity, Definition. Featuring image 11, this slide defines sincerity as being genuine, honest, and transparent. It calls it an essential trait influencing relationships and growth. Slide 36, page 36, Importance of Sincerity. Illustrated with image 12, this slide highlights that sincerity promotes authenticity, leading to a fulfilling life, and builds trust in relationships. Slide 37, page 37, Consistent Effort, Definition. Using image 13, this slide defines consistent effort as the continual application of enthusiasm and determination towards goals. It states this is essential for long-term success and skill cultivation. Slide 38, page 38, Benefits of Consistency. Accompanied by image 14, this slide outlines benefits. Regular effort enhances skill development and mastery, and consistency builds resilience against setbacks. Slide 39, page 39, Challenges Faced. Participants about the Vitamin M Money Envelope Exercise. This slide identifies obstacles to sincere and consistent effort, such as fear of judgment, lack of motivation, and external pressures. Slide 40, page 40, Overcoming Challenges. Featuring image 15, this slide suggests strategies to counter challenges, establishing clear goals, seeking support, maintaining a positive mindset, and regularly reassessing progress to adapt. Slide 41, page 41, Real-life examples. This slide provides examples of sincere dedication and consistency, a renowned artist practicing daily, an athlete training routinely, and a business leader fostering honesty. Slide 42, page 42, Steps to Cultivate Sincerity. This slide lists steps to cultivate sincerity, practice honesty, seek feedback and reflect, and engage in self-awareness activities to understand motives. Slide 43, page 43, Role of Environment. Using image 16, this slide discusses the environment's impact, noting supportive surroundings encourage sincerity while negative ones can deter it. Slide 44, page 44, Personal Responsibility. Featuring image 17, this is the sign you've been looking for. This slide emphasizes that personal responsibility and accountability are crucial for maintaining sincerity and consistent effort. Slide 45, page 45, Measuring Progress. This slide stresses the importance of assessing progress. It suggests methods like self-reflection, goal tracking, journaling, and peer feedback. Slide 46, page 46, Creating an Action Plan. This slide provides guidelines for developing a personal action plan, which should outline specific goals, steps, timelines, and actionable strategies to facilitate sincere and consistent effort. Slide 47, page 47, Motivational Strategies. This slide suggests motivational strategies, setting clear, attainable goals and rewarding progress/milestones to maintain motivation and encourage improvement. It includes a quote, "You never know failure until you fail to try," attributed to Sugar Ray Leonard, though wording slightly varies. Slide 48, page 48, Importance of Reflection. Illustrated with image 18, this slide highlights the crucial role of reflection and self-evaluation for growth, allowing analysis of experiences and adjustment of efforts. Slide 49, page 49, Personal Growth Timeline Example. Using image 19, this slide presents a sample personal growth timeline, 2020-2023+, showing milestones like starting the journey, completing courses, achieving goals, and continuing to embrace challenges with sincerity and effort. Slide 50, page 50, the Vitamin M Envelope Exercise. This slide details the practical Vitamin M Money Envelope Exercise. It involves regularly contributing money to an envelope and spending 10% of it in a way that brings joy and benefits others, promoting conscious spending and generosity. Slide 51, page 51, using 10% of saved money. This slide explicitly instructs participants to allocate 10% of their savings for the week to a meaningful cause or investment, ensuring responsible use. Slide 52, page 52, Homework Exercise. This slide assigns another homework exercise. Write 3 paragraphs describing how, where, when, and why the participant is conserving their personal energy this week. Slide 53, page 53, Closing Slide. A simple closing slide with the motivational message, never give up,